Hello, I'm so glad to see you. I hope you're having a good day today. Today is Halloween, and that is the day of scary things. And this to me is very scary. I'm going to do something in this video that I have not done in a very long time. I'm going to paint on that. I'm going to paint a picture like Bob Ross would paint. I actually have not painted anything other than some walls and a ceiling since I was in elementary school. I've painted nothing. Now I've watched hundreds of hours of The Joy of Painting. Actually, I've kind of slept through hundreds of hours. Usually I stay awake long enough to see him do the sky and maybe a few clouds, but then after that I'm asleep. So I've watched him paint lots of skies and clouds. So maybe I can handle that. But anyway, I have everything set up here. I have my canvas, and I have coated it with a thin layer of liquid white, just like he would do. And for inspiration, I have on my Bob Ross t-shirt, and he's painting the universe. And it was kind of neat. One thing I want to show you, if I can find my phone, just a second. I pulled up Facebook this morning, and there was a picture on here, and it was the first thing I saw when I opened Facebook, and I want to show you what it is, and it was just really cool. It's Bob Ross saying, "Isn't that fantastic? I knew you could do it," and that was the first thing I saw in my news feed this morning. If you hear a lot of banging, my upstairs neighbors are actually moving out, so there may be some racket from them, and there's not really a lot I can do about it. But I'm going to paint a picture. I thought about practicing beforehand. I thought maybe I had brought two canvases. I thought, well, I could do one for practice and then do one for a video, but I thought, no, I'll just go ahead and do the video. But I want you to know I haven't painted anything, and this is scary to me. This is really intimidating. I mean, I can watch Bob paint all day, and that's great, but to actually do it myself is really freaking me out. And I've put this off for so long. I've been thinking about doing this since probably back in March was when I first started thinking about doing this. And it is now October, and I'm just now doing it. So I don't want to talk too long because my liquid white's going to dry. So I'm going to actually move you a little bit. Now keep in mind that Bob had all kinds of people to help him. And he had lots of different camera angles. I don't. I have one. So I'm going to have to try to make this work with just the one camera. I'm going to try to get you as close as I can to the actual canvas so you can see what I'm doing. But I have to actually have room to work too. So what I did, I took my brush and I coated it with the liquid white. So it's a complete layer of liquid white. Hopefully it hasn't dried. No, see, it's still there. I got it on my finger trying to get the container of the liquid white open. Now I have several. I'll show you. I have lots of brushes here. A lot of these are Bob Ross. See, this is. See, I bought a set. I bought a kit. I'll show you the cover. I bought this starter set, and it came with 8 paints and some brushes and one of the knives and a fan brush, liner brush, and a 1 inch and what did I get? 1 inch and a 2 inch brush. Yeah, it's a pretty good deal, and it comes with a DVD. And I think it was only like $65. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good deal because if you buy that stuff individually, it adds up. It's kind of expensive stuff, but I think it's good stuff. Now, some of my other brushes they don't have a name brand, and I don't know how they're going to work. It seems like the Bob Ross brushes are pretty stiff. I mean, I'm impressed. So, I'm going to show you my palette. Oh, one other thing, and for some reason I found this so fascinating and exciting. So I opened the kit, and I actually got to touch for the first time in my life the colors, the paints that I have watched Bob use for 30 years. I mean, I've been watching him paint for 30 years. And I just want to show you because this to me was so exciting. I have phthalo blue, sap green, titanium white, midnight black, bright red, alizarin crimson, Van Dyke brown, and finally I have, cadmium yellow, or cad yellow, which he sometimes called it. So I have all that, and I put some on a palette. And I didn't put them on here in any particular order, although I do recall that he puts the titanium white down here. So I put the titanium white here. This is phthalo blue, midnight black, Van Dyke brown, bright red, cadmium yellow. I may actually need a little more. I don't know how much of each of these to use, and I'm probably going to need more than this. I'm pretty sure I am, but I didn't want to put too much on here. Sap green and alizarin crimson. So I have them all on my canvas, on my palette. I've never held a palette before. This is new for me. See, this is all very unfamiliar. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. All right, and to wash my brushes, I can't do it like Bob did because I don't want paint, watery paint to go all over my kitchen. So we'll get to that when I'm ready to wash a brush. Right now I just want to get started. So, okay. The first thing I want to do is the sky right up here. I have a general idea of what I want to do, but honestly, I don't know how it's going to turn out. And that's the scary part. But let me tell you, the scary part for me was, what if it's no good? So then I have to talk to myself and say, so what if it's not good? What's the worst that could happen? So you have a bad painting, big deal. That's the worst. That's literally the worst thing that could happen right now. So even if you're scared of something, stop and think about what you're scared about. And is it really that big of a deal? What's the worst that could happen as far as whatever you're scared of? And then just take a deep breath and jump in and do it. All right, I'm going to be quiet now. No, I'm not. I'm going to keep talking. Okay. So I would think for the sky, I'm going to start with my Bob Ross 2-inch brush. Oh God, this is so exciting. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I'm going to go into some of the, ooh, it's thick. Look at that, wow. Look how thick that is. Phthalo blue and some titanium white. A little bit more. Let's mix it right there. Now I actually have my canvas kind of set up on top of a tote, so I don't know how this is gonna go. Okay, this looks really dark. Add a little more titanium white. I'll lighten it up a little bit. Oh, okay, here we go. That's insanely dark. Oh my goodness. So I'm just going back and forth. That's a very dark sky. Little crisscross strokes. I guess we can make it lighter over here. I'm not sure how far down I want to come with this. So I don't have an easel or anything. I figure, you know, if I want to keep doing this, I'll get an easel, but for now, I don't really see a need in going and spending hundreds of dollars on stuff. And bring it on down. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to wash this brush. And like I said, I can't do it the way Bob does it because I don't want paint all over the place. So what I did, I got some odorless paint thinner and I put it in this glass brush washer. Now you can't see it because I already rinsed the liquid white in here, but there's a little grate down in there, like a little metal grate, and I'm just brushing the bristles up against that grate like that in the odorless paint thinner. And down here on the floor, I have a bucket. So I'm going to pick up my bucket, shake it off a little bit, and I'm going to beat it on the inside of the bucket. And just beat the devil out of it. Okay. Now, I'm going to set this aside. I have paper towels over here under my paintbrushes. Now, I get back to my palette. See, I'm jealous. Bob can do all this without putting his palette down. Let's try a 1-inch brush. Here, this is the Bob Ross brush. We're going to get a little bit of titanium white on the end of this brush. Now I'm going to try to make some clouds, and this is really freaking me out. I'm really scared. I don't know why I'm so scared. I need Bob here to give me a hug. Whew, okay. The corner of the brush. I'm going to try the corner of the brush. And I do remember him saying not to keep the brush in one position. To keep it moving. Oh, it's turning blue. Well, it's okay. This may actually all end up being covered up. I have blue on here. That wasn't supposed to happen. I think it can actually use a little touch of paint thinner. See, my brush is getting blue. Let me clean my brush. A little bit of paint thinner on there probably would help anyway. So I'm going to shake it off. I just beat the devil out of it. Okay, there we go. All the blue's gone. Excellent. So I'm going to come back to my more titanium white. And now that we have a little bit of paint thinner on the brush, this might work a little better. I'm not sure. Oops. I'm still having trouble with the blue sticking to it. Oops. That's all right. We're gonna have some light blue clouds. I'm not especially fond of this brush. So he says you can lift it and fluff it. I'll tell you now, when he says you have to do that very lightly, he is not kidding. Okay, I have wind-swept clouds. Lift it. And, gosh, I messed up. And fluff it. Okay, we're going to assume that these are wind-swept clouds. I'm going to clean this again. I'm getting a lot of that blue on here. Over my bucket. white to my palette. Okay, I'll just put another little dollop of white right here. I'm just going to get a little bit on there. I'm going to come back over, let's see. I'm just going in little circles with the corner of the brush. And a lot of this may actually get covered up with whatever I decide to paint on it. We're not going to worry about it. Very lightly. I'm just going to brush it up like that. Well, those are definitely understated clouds. And that's okay. Like I said, I may actually end up covering these up with something. Okay. I think I came down far enough. You know what we could do? And it may not even work out this way. I'm going to actually add, while I have this brush here, I'm going to add some blue right here. I might put a little water in here. Unfortunately, you can see right here where the support for the canvas runs right down there. I don't think there's a whole lot I can do about that. Okay. So, and we may not do anything with that. I may put some water in there, who knows? I know some of Bob's paintings, he said if nothing else, you'll learn with this painting to be an expert brush washer. So maybe that's what I'll get out of this experience. I'll learn how to wash brushes. There we go. I'll put that there. Okay, now we want to look at here. Okay, let me think. I think I'm going to try. Now I know when you do trees, you want to do them in stages. You do them in layers. And I believe I am going to try this with I don't know if I want to go with 2-inch brush or 1-inch brush. I'll go with the 1-inch brush. Okay. So I'm going to take some of the Van Dyke Brown right here. Spread it out. Should I mix it with something? How about sap green? A little bit of that. Mixing it right on the brush. Okay. Let's say we're going to put something here. What are we putting here? I don't know. Right now it looks like a mess. I want to make sure to let some of the blue show through at that point. Don't want to cover up all the blue. And then down here, make it dark. I want it to be dark. And we're going to bring it on around. This is, ooh, that's darker. A little more sap green and Dyke Brown. Make it look like little branches. A little bit more sap green, a little more Van Dyke Brown. I'm just mixing it on the brush. I'm not even trying to make sure it all looks the same. looks like a tree already. But see, I'm not covering up all the blue. And actually, I think I messed up. Let's put some back here. Gonna need more paint. I'm just coming around this white part. Let's see, come down a little bit. I'm not even trying to make it look uniform or anything. And again, I'm just doing sap green and Van Dyke brown. I'll come down in the water a little bit. Got a lot of white over here. And I have to say, this is a very thick paint. I'm sorry, my canvas is flopping around. If I do any more of these, I'm getting an easel. Definitely. I will be quiet. I believe this is an 18 by 24-inch canvas. Make that darker. I shouldn't have covered all that up. So here we have some trees. Here we have this big tree. Trying to, I might put another one over here like that. Bring it on down here. Down over the water. I like that one better. Okay, and then down here, what should we do here? I'm going to just paint in some darkness down here. I'm just basically scrubbing the paint off the brush that was already there. Probably should have done that first. All right. So now we have this basic blob of stuff. Gonna wash this brush. I'm also thinking I should have done something here before I tried to put in the tree, but maybe all is not lost. This painting's probably going to end up at Goodwill anyway. I don't know what I would do with it. Okay. So I've scrubbed my brush on the little wire rack down here. Just shake it off. Beat the devil out of it. I like that. I'm actually going to turn the air off. Sorry. I tried to have everything nice and quiet before I started, but I forgot that the air was probably going to kick on. Okay, so now I have my official real deal Bob Ross knife. What am I going to do with it? I don't know. All right. Let's look at the water. Ooh. I'm actually trying to cut in a little line here. Right across. Like that. Just want to have a general idea of where my water is. I'm gonna wipe that off. Okay. I'm going to come back with my brush. Yeah, let me do this first. I'm going to pull this down very lightly. And remember what Bob said, these are instant reflections in your water. And again, it's going to mess up my tree. Now, I'm going to very lightly go across. Oops, shoot. No, it's okay. Look at that. I just made reflections. Ah! All right, I'm not even going to wash this brush. I'm going to set it aside because I'm going to use it again in a second. I'm going to take my knife. I'm going to go into this titanium white. Now, you see I've mixed in some of the phthalo blue. I'm going to get just a little bit. I'm not doing my little roll of paint. Hold on. A little roll of paint. I'm gonna come back here. That's too much paint. I'm just trying to create a little water line. It looks so much easier when he does it. I remember him saying one time that somebody asked him, you know, Bob, how long did it take you to get this good? And he said 20 years and 20 minutes. Or they asked him, how long did it take you to learn to paint like that? And he was painting something, and he said 20 years and 20 minutes. 20 years of practice and then 20 years of prep for this particular painting. That looks like crap. Okay. Let's see if I can... Oh! You're going to mess up your reflection if you do that. We'll leave it that way. Okay, now I have my brush here that had the dark green on it. Let me try to mix. I'm going to try to mix with my knife like he did. I'll wipe off my knife on my paper towel. I'm going to take a little bit of this cadmium yellow, cad yellow. And, oops, got some on my... He never messes up like this. I'm going to blend it into the sap green. Try to leave it marbly, as he said. And had to get it off the knife. I'm going to just brush it off. Alright. I'm going to take this marbly color, add a little more yellow. I don't think that's enough on my brush. And I'm going to come back here. A thin paint will stick to a thick paint. So I hear. Trying to add a little bit of detail, a little bit of color to these trees. I'm so glad those people are moving out. These are the ones who bowl overhead at all hours of the night. I think they're bowling. I really don't know what they do, but it's horrendously noisy. So I'm just taking the yellow and I'm just hitting random sections with it. I'm not doing all of it in yellow. Just little bits. Oh, look at that. I had to run out this morning to Michael's, the fabric and craft store. I think it's mainly like an arts and crafts store. I don't think they sell fabric. And get some odorless paint thinner because I forgot to do that. And I was looking at all the beautiful trees. They're changing colors. And I thought, I wish I could paint something like that. Before I go any further, how about we add some branches to these trees and put down this 1-inch brush. Shake it off. I'll put it over my trash can. Beat the devil out of it. Okay, how about we do some branches? And for that, I have this number 2 Bob Ross script liner. And I'm going to dip it in a little bit of the paint thinner. Come into what I want to do here. Dip it in a little bit of Van Dyke brown. I'm going to try to get it to a nice point. Oh my God, those people are so loud. Okay, so let's see. I think normally you did this first with a knife. Yeah, see, it's not going to be thick enough. Just put in some little indications of some branches. Add a little white to that. It's not showing up like I would hope. Get a little more. That's too much. That's still too much. Okay. And I'm just bringing it down. And I made it wider down here to hold him up so he doesn't fall over, as Bob would say. Give him some feet so he doesn't fall. Do the same down here. Let's make a dark trunk. basically just making some little indications of branches to hold up our tree. And for these trees over here, I may actually do something a little different. Wow, I'm covered in paint. Bob never gets paint on himself. You can see me, he'd probably laugh. Okay. That's okay. I'll clean it up later. I don't care. I don't mind getting dirty. How about... I'm going to try that liner one more time. I think I'm going to try this bright red also in these trees. I saw the most beautiful maple tree coming back from Michael's. It's just like it was on fire. It's like a fireball. Absolutely gorgeous tree. And I would love to be able to paint something like that. I'm not done with these trees yet, don't worry. Okay. Actually, it kind of looks like a swampy area over there. Self liner brush. I'm going to try a fan brush. But I'm scared of this one. It's so big. It is so big. And this one may not be stiff enough. This is sort of I don't even know what brand it is. I got some more cad yellow. That's an off-brand brush. I bought some brushes somewhere. I don't remember. Some of this stuff I've had for months. I just got the Bob Ross set recently, but the palette and the canvases and stuff I've had for months. Ew, look at that. Let's see what happens. Do we want to do it here? Oh, see, it's turning it green. I'm trying paint thinner. Because by golly, a thin paint will stick to a thick paint. Or so I'm told. Bob, I think I'm becoming a mud mixer. I remember you talking about that. Maybe it's the brush. Maybe it's the brush. Actually don't know if it's the brush or not. We'll try Bob's brush. We'll try this one. Okay, so I'm going to go into the cadmium yellow right here. Oh, that's better. Maybe it was the brush. I'm killing all my blue back there. Bad, bad, bad. They don't look like trees. They look like little little monsters or something. Well, I tell you what, I'm not scared anymore. This is actually kind of funny. doesn't bend like I thought it would. You know, I said they would bend a certain way. Mine's not really bending. It's not. It's very stiff. Yikes. Oh dear, I messed up. That we don't make mistakes, we make happy accidents. Watch, I had a big old happy accident right there. Learn to use what happens. Okay, Bob. I'll do it. Oh, it is kind of, actually, you know what? It is kind of bending that way. Oh, look at that. Yay. I don't know what kind of tree this is, but it just got a lot bigger right here. Oh, don't. Don't get carried away. Too late. I got carried away. This is hilarious. I'm enjoying this. I like this fan brush. Yay! It does bend. A little arm right here. Woo-hoo. Mary, calm down. See, now it's all goofy. Yeah, I got a little goofy right there. I'm cleaning the fan brush. See, again, there's a little mesh, a metal mesh thing down in there. And I'm just kind of scrubbing it on that mesh. Let's wipe it off. Now I'm going to try some of that bright red. Or no. We haven't done anything with the alizarin crimson yet. Let's see what we can do with that. All right. I'll try a little bit of the alizarin crimson right here. Should I just go with it like that? I don't know. Let's see what it does. This brush is too big for this little area. Let's mix a little bright red with some cad yellow. This brush is too big. See, now it just looks like some kind of weird handwriting. I don't like that brush for this, but I want to play some more. Okay, that's silly. I was a little worried about getting paint on my shirt, but I thought, you know what? If I get paint on my shirt, this is probably the coolest possible way I could get paint on my shirt. I think Bob would be proud. All right, that's messy. I'm gonna pull this down a little bit and very lightly go across. What do we do here? What should we do there? I don't know. Let's try something. We have to put something there. I'm going to find my Van Dyke Brown, wherever it went. I get a little bit more Van Dyke Brown. I put a little more Van Dyke Brown right here. And to use this little, I guess it's a 1-inch brush. It's not a Bob Ross brush. I'm going to cover, we need to seal off the water. It's all going to run out on the floor. Add a little sap green to that. Okay, not a big fan of this brush. Not a big fan of this brush at all. Don't like it. See, it's sticking together. The bristles are getting, actually I think the bristles are too flexible. They're too soft. I need firmer bristles like the ones that came with my Bob Ross set. Shake it off. I know why he laughed now every time he did that. That's fun. Okay. I'm gonna try. Do I really want to try the? Yeah, we'll try the 2-inch brush. Again, Van Dyke brown. A little bit of sap green. Might get a little of this cat yellow right there, just for the heck of it. My God, that is so much better. Okay. Oh, excuse me, Mr. Tree. I'm going to have to paint over part of you. Bob makes this look so much easier. Stop flopping. I wish there was a way I could get it to not do that. Unfortunately, I don't seem to be able to keep it from making that racket. Sorry. No. Right now I'm just covering this up, basically. Just coming down through here, covering up this white part. What if that's a big old bush right there? Right here. Maybe another one over here somewhere. All right. Well, that seals up our water. That's a relief. It's not going anywhere. Looks like we've got it pretty well contained. I'm washing this big old 2-inch brush. I'm going to shake it out into the bucket. That's my favorite part. I remember Bob saying that was his favorite part too. I totally get that. Okay. Let's see here. We gotta add some color to that big dark blob. Well, we have color, by golly, we have. I'm going to dip the 1-inch brush in a little bit of paint thinner. And blot it just a little. I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna try bright red on my brush. And we're gonna hit right here. Oh crap, it's too runny. Too much paint thinner. And I'm hitting it too hard. Definitely hitting it too hard. Oh, Bob, I have become a mud mixer. Look at that. Not to worry. I'm gonna wipe it off a little bit and add. Nope, bad idea. We're going to leave that alone for a minute. We're going to come over here. This is some sort of bush right here. I'm going to add a little bit of this yellow to the green, like a lighter green color. Down here. I'm just trying to make some ground cover. I don't like you anymore, brush. I'm gonna try a different brush. It's becoming an abstract painting, whether I like it or not. Can't even see that. Oh God, you can see that. Definitely. Well, we have some generic shapes in there. Well, there's some color in it now. That's a 1-inch brush. I'll clean the 2-inch brush a little bit. I think we're going to try the fan brush. See what we can do. Yeah, fan brush and liner brush, I think. That's funny. Okay. Fan brush. What are we going to do with the fan brush? Well, we are going to look at some cadmium yellow. And we are going to try to get some sort of shapes going in here. Like that. It's like a yellow bell bush, if you're familiar with a yellow bell. That's exactly what that looks like. It's like a yellow bell bush. And those are the bushes that my mama used to make me go get a branch of to switch me with when I was really bad. Which fortunately wasn't too often, but there were a few times I had to go to the yellow bell bush and get a switch. They grow these long, skinny, flexible branches, and you can use them to switch a child. I only had to endure that a few times. That was when I had been really, really bad. Done something really horrible, which I actually did get in trouble a lot as a kid, mainly because I have a smart mouth and don't know when to stop sometimes. That's not bad, actually. I like that. And down here. That's so pretty. Oh, I like that a lot. I do. That is such a nice combination, the red and the yellow. Alright, I'll rinse off and clean my brush just a bit. I really like that combination. Dry my brush off. I'm going to try to get just some yellow. I want just the yellow. Sorry, I have to keep going back to my paint to get more. I'm going to dip it in just a little bit of the yellow right there. And I want to add a little more zing to this one. Just a little. And come on down here to the bottom. Maybe right in here too. And give his little feet something to stand on. And over here, I'll add a little bit. Ooh, that's pretty. It's orange. I like that. And it's a little bit here, right in the corner. Let's try a little sparkle right here. Oop, that's not enough. Okay, and what should I do now? I think we decided this was too big for those little ones over here. You know what I like? I like the plain yellow interspersed with a little bit of red on this tree. So I'm going to wash my brush again. I'm going to get a little bit of the bright red. Might mix in a little bit of alizarin crimson in that. Dry it off on my paper towel. So I have bright red and alizarin crimson, which you can see alizarin crimson is quite a bit darker. I'll get a little touch of that and kind of mix in a little bit of the bright red. Oh my goodness. Look at that. I think you could very easily overdo it. Like Bob says, it'll eat up your whole world. And I don't want it to do that. But that bright red is really something. I don't know what kind of trees they are, but they're colorful. Cleaning my fan brush again. I'm trying to do it without setting down my palette like Bob does, but I'm not quite as good at it as he is. Okay, what can we do now? I don't know that there's really a lot I want to do at this point. Maybe scratch in some indications of little branches. To hold everything up. I like this one the best. And down in here. I don't want to do anything there. I don't want to do anything else. It's not perfect, but it's mine. So as Bob would do, I'm going to get my liner brush and I'm going to sign my first painting This is literally the first thing I've painted since finger painting in elementary school. I don't know how to sign it. I'll just put Mary. Oops. It's too thick. Add a little paint thinner. Okay, here it is. I'm going to put my palette aside. This was one of the most ridiculous videos I've done, but this is one of the scariest too. But I want to show you my painting. I'm gonna move you because the canvas is actually taped to this tote. I'm gonna bring you a little closer so you can see. Sorry. Here it is. My painting. Again, it's not the best, but it's my first. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you come back. I hope to see you again soon. And I hope you have a wonderful, happy Halloween.